Welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. A lot of you have been asking me to do a Thriver TV episode on this topic, and I know how important it is to cover this topic because, like so many others, I used to have no idea about the difference between healthy love and narcissistic love. I know how important it is to get very clear about this so that you will never accept unhealthy love again. Also, it's vital to know what you're looking for and aiming for, because unless you know where you're going, you can end up at a completely different destination. Okay, so before we get started on this really important topic, I'd just like to say thank you for subscribing to the Thriver mission and connecting to the truth that it is possible to heal for real from narcissistic abuse in ways and timeframes that we didn't believe possible. And I'd love to remind you that if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do. All right, so on with today's episode, starting off with unhealthy relationships. The signs of an unhealthy relationship. Number one, invalidation. The biggest thing I believe that is consistent in unhealthy relationships is that you are invalidated, meaning this person is not interested in what you feel or say, or disrupts you, or tells you that you are wrong if you are hurt or upset about something. Or maybe they just stonewall or abandon you when you try to have a discussion with them. The firm message is this: your feelings don't matter to me. Mind you, it is important as an evolving, mature adult to be able to speak up in healthy ways with calmness and truth, and the desire to air what needs to be said in ways that are healthy. If your desire is to bring about a greater understanding and improvement for your relationship rather than attacking it, then it's vital to communicate healthily. It's important you understand that. Because of course, if you are attacking someone, they're going to retaliate defensively. But please do not confuse this with when you have had enough and you are so triggered, hurt, abused, and angry that you're not expressing yourself healthily at all. You are human. If you're enmeshed with and being abused by someone who is sick, you will get very sick. What else do you think would happen? Sadly, in our narcissistic relationships, it wouldn't have mattered how we approach this person, because narcissists are not concerned with your feelings, your values, or your rights at all. It's purely about him or her. You will feel unheard, unmet, dismissed, or attacked as a result of trying to speak up about your rights in a relationship. Number two is blames you. If you're in a relationship with somebody toxic, they will not take responsibility for their behaviors and actions. Typically, this person won't apologize, or if they do, the apology comes far too late. It's a backhanded apology that isn't an apology at all, or is used as a method to try to hoover you back in when nothing else has worked. Apologies without remorse and a commitment to rectify the damage created is not an apology. These are only words without the actions that mean they're genuine. Unhealthy relationships are those where conversations and arguments turn into circular mayhem. Blame throwing and diversions happen through the following tactics: projecting onto you what that person does themselves, going off topic regarding something that you do, bringing in allies, real or fabricated, to discredit you, pathological lying about events, and making childish and irrational justifications and excuses to try to spin it back onto you. As well as so many more of these out-of-bound tactics that destroy trust in a relationship. In these relationships, you may find that you are taking on way too much of the blame, hoping that by apologizing and trying to please this person, that they will treat you better. It's a bottomless pit. You accepting responsibility or upping your efforts to try to make the relationship healthier will not work. Okay, number 3, inconsideration. Toxic relationships lack care, meaning that there is a lack of empathy and conscience. There's an inability to comprehend how words and actions affect another. And going back to being invalidated, which is sign number 1, when this person steps on your toes and hurts you in ways that can be downright cruel and horrific, it's likely that your reaction will bring even more abuse upon you. People who express consideration for others lack integrity and moral code. They just don't care. I know that so many of us tried to explain decent, basic human conduct fundamentals to people who simply didn't get it and refused to get it. Or if they supposedly did, eventually after days or weeks of us lecturing or prescribing to them, then serially and seriously reoffended. The truth that you really need to accept is this: somebody's character is somebody's character. If you're in a relationship with somebody who is inconsiderate and doesn't have the resources or the desire to care for you, then you are in an unhealthy relationship. Number 4 is grossly conditional love. In every relationship, there are times when you may not particularly like a person, but you still love them. A toxic relationship is categorized with a person being black and white. They either gush all over you or they hate you. When they get from you what they want, then they are decent, or maybe even overtly expressing their idealized love of you. But when they don't, on a hairline trigger, can decide that the relationship needs to be over. This is not mature and healthy love at all. It means that you're walking on broken glass and you never know when the rug is going to be pulled out from underneath you. Also, you'll be suffering the absolute devastation of the roller coasters of feeling loved up and secure 1 minute and discarded and devastated the next. This is no way to live and be loved. Now, in stark contrast, let's explore healthy love. The signs of a healthy relationship. Number 1 is validation. In a healthy relationship, this person is interested in you and cares for your feelings. Healthy relationships seek partnership, understanding, solution, and evolution together into an even greater mutuality, connection, and teamwork. This is a relationship striving for being honest regarding feelings and needs and inviting the other partner to do the same. If you're open to hearing what another person needs from you, which is essential in a healthy relationship, then it's up to you to have healthy boundaries and feel into whether or not this is healthy or a violation of your boundaries. Of course, abusers are going to express feelings and desires that are completely skewed, unreasonable, and highly abusive for you. If you've done enough healing work on yourself, then you can hear this person out and decide whether this is a match for your life and truth. We need to be really honest with ourselves. If we are in relationship with somebody whose needs are abusive and stay with them, then we are abusing ourselves. You see, this is the thing. When you've committed to your Thriver healing to move up and out of patterns of abusive relationships, you are ready to explore relationships of health and union. Number 2 is honesty and responsibility. Again, it's very important to communicate lovingly when you're having the difficult conversations with somebody you love. Maybe you may need to give them some space and time to process what you said. If you are in relationship with somebody with a good character, they will be honest with you. They will take responsibility for their actions and behaviors. No one is perfect. You're not perfect. There are times in relationships where you will not be your best self, and neither will the other person. The difference is in healthy relationships, both partners and parties will be honest. They can take responsibility and apologize. It's so important to understand that a timely and genuine apology is vital to settle somebody else's feelings and allow them to feel safe, and for a relationship to strengthen with trust and love. Healthy relationships have the ability to progress and grow in this way. This is in complete opposition to relationships where this just is not possible. Number 3 is consideration. In healthy relationships, people care. Individuals are respected, revered, and supported. You can have differences of opinions together because the love that you have for that person and they for you is greater than the conversation at hand. You are both happy for the other person to be happy. Support is expressed towards the other person's dreams and goals. What is important to your partner is important to you, just as you are to them. In abusive relationships, this person does not want you to be happy at all and is not supportive of things that take your attention away from them being the center of your universe. Can you see the enormous difference? Number 4, unconditional love. So this means that rather than the black and white ability to love somebody one moment and then throw them aside the next, is that you have the compassion and the love to be able to accept that this person does love you, that they do have your best interests at heart, and that you are working together to heal each other's wounds. And a huge part of unconditional love for another person is the unconditional love that you have for yourself, that when you are triggered, rather than looking outside and blaming that person, that you come inwards to do the loving, self-partnering and healing of yourself. Because when you can partner yourself in this way, then you have the ability to partner that person in the same way as well. And if you have relationships where both people are working at unconditional love and acceptance of themselves, well then they are so much more likely to be able to do that journey with another as well. Okay, so you have to be the person to generate this. To have a healthy relationship, you need to be really honest with yourself, just as I had to be with myself. Stop asking the questions such as, where will I meet somebody like this to have a healthy relationship with? Or which dating site should I get on to try to find somebody who is healthy? I used to fall into all of those traps too before my own serious and dedicated inner healing and development. I really want you to know that it is incredibly difficult for you to have a healthy relationship until you get really healthy in the relationship with yourself, which means that you apply all of these 3 signs: validation, honesty, and responsibility, and consideration to yourself first. This requires self-partnering and meeting and healing your own painful feelings and previous emotional traumas, and being really honest with yourself regarding what it is that you need to heal within you. And the last sign, unconditional love, is what self-partnering is all about. Until you mate your own soul, it is virtually impossible to have a soulmate relationship with another. And such a big part of this inner development is the growing up to know that we are responsible for our own validation, love, care, and boundaries. These things are not somebody else's job. It's up to us to say, Yes, I will accept this level of relationship, or no, I won't in regard to another, rather than trying to force people with poor characters to give us what we need to feel loved and safe. If we do this, we are leading from our own unhealed inner traumas, which inevitably keep us rolling around with the person and the relationships that match more of these unhealed traumas. You will unconsciously choose and participate in relationships that feel familiar to you, ones that invalidate and hurt you. But the only way, so important, to break free from these patterns is to take a break from relationships and heal your inner traumas before seeking an intimate partner again. Then you will never again try to make unmakeable deals work, handing your power away with people who are abusing you. Then I promise you, just as I did myself, you will get very clear about what a healthy relationship is, because you are already living that yourself. And I'm so thrilled to report that I am in a conscious, loving and supportive relationship with a beautiful man. I never would have been able to enter and retain a relationship at this level unless I did this serious work on myself. I wouldn't even be able to recognize a relationship like this, let alone navigate and grow with it. Because truly, previous to that, I was a total relationship disaster. So I know there is so much hope for you to be able to seek out and experience healthy love. And I'm totally looking forward to a wonderful conversation about this topic with you below. Okay, so until next time, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.